Dynaphones connected. Initiating broadcast signal in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, this is the Nerd World Order broadcast. I am the man that you call Dukes, and to my right, here comes the...
Booyah, what's up? It's your boy Joe, baby.
And to my other right, weighing in at 178 adamantium-filled pounds, coming straight out of Krakoa, Alfonso X-Man Flores.
Professor, body slide by 5.
I think it's a body slide by 3, but we'll take it. So, ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, this is the Nerd World Order broadcast, the official broadcast of the Nerd World Order community, Nerds Redefined. So today we're going to be discussing season 4 of Stranger Things. We originally talked about the first, let's say, 6 episodes of Stranger Things episode 4. And so, 7 and 8 had to finish it off. And I'll just say, I thought they did a really good job. I was really excited. I'll get into it in a little bit. Gentlemen, what's your thoughts? How excited were you knowing there were 2 episodes left of season 4 of Stranger Things?
Dude, I could not wait, man. I was so stoked. It was kind of cool because I kind of like spread it out a little bit, so I didn't watch it all at once. And like still the amount of time I had to wait was just too long. This show has been a lot of fun. It's been a fun ride. And with 2 episodes left, you're like, oh man, only 2 episodes. But one was what, an hour and a half, and the other was like 2.5 hours. So It was satisfying.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I was pretty excited. I mean, after the last episode that led into 7 and 8, kind of got me hyped up. And the good thing was you only had to wait, I think it was less than a month, I want to say. So, like you said, an hour and a half the first one, and it was like 2.5 for the next one. It was like not only 2 more episodes, it felt like it was like 4 more.
Did it feel to you guys like it was almost a separate season? Like they could have just made those last 2 episodes like a separate season within themselves? Because to Joe's point, it was almost 5 hours worth of content.
Yeah, I'd say yeah, but I mean, it's nice that they did it this way. It's like they did a season and they did 2 follow-up movies.
Yeah.
It was just it was so much like interconnected with each other that if you would have separated it, I think it would have lost a little bit. So that little bit of weight was just enough to just have everybody salivating for more.
Because wasn't the first season was like, what? Was it 10, 8, 10? Or was it 8, 10, 8?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you make them an hour, you had 10 episodes.
And these kids are like 30 now, so, they can't do this much longer.
Yeah. I think they addressed it up with Harper, right? Where he's like, oh, you got big.
Yeah, definitely. So for those of you who listened to the last episode where we talked about Stranger Things, we call it season 4.7, going into 7 episodes. We discussed it in a special manner. We broke it up based on the quest, because at the end of the day, this is sort of a D&D type thing, Dungeons and Dragons, if you will, type of adventure. Therefore, when you look at it, you have to break it up in the quest. So that's what we're going to do again. So let's get into the quest that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing the Russia quest, which is Hopper, Elaine, and what's his name? Marty. Then we're going to be going with the West Coast quest. West Side, Alfonso representing the West Side, and then the quest of the Upside Down, which will be Vecna versus the kids of Hawkins. So let's get into it, ladies, gentlemen, and knights. Let's start off by talking about let's see here, the Russian quest. Joe, thoughts on the old Russian Quest?
It was pretty cool, but it's like one of those like parts of the TV series and or movies where you're like, it's cool that it's in there, but you can't wait to see what the West Coast and Upside Down's doing. It's almost like the Riva side quest in Obi-Wan. We were like, I just want to see the fight scene, guys. I just want to get to that. But it wasn't as bad. I mean, it was okay. I mean, the last time we talked about it, we were kind of like, this one wasn't as bad.
Got a question for you guys regarding the I'll say 4.7. That's just what I'm going to call everything that happened before these last two episodes. 4.7. The Russian character, I can't remember his name, not the Russian soldier, but yeah, that guy, the annoying guy. At the end, he sort of had this moment where he redeemed himself. Do you guys feel like it was necessary for him to be a complete deplorable buffoon for you to appreciate his, let's say, his redemption at the end of the movie or the show?
Yeah, I mean, having him as that character, he's just basically he's clown shoes walking around. You know what I mean? You don't know whether to trust him or not. It's like he tells you one thing, and you're like, whoa, and then he's joking, and it's like, all right, that was a stupid joke, and all of a sudden, nope, just kidding. I'm split it over to the other side. So it's like, oh man. So like you never really knew what to think with him. He was kind of wishy-washy back and forth, but like he said, he had a family to feed too, and tough thing is he was looking out for that. And he just tried to find the humor where he could. I don't know what that's like at all. Oh wait.
It's funny you say that he had a family to feed, but man, I mean, if he were doing things the way that he did, he seemed like he was definitely adopting much more of an American attitude.
Right.
Where you can step on the backs of others and make others suffer, but your stock prices and all your stuff goes up. He seemed a lot more American than one from Mother Russia. But I guess at the end of the movie, he came back around and supported his values. They were in there somewhere.
Yes, sir.
But dude, at the end of the day, is he telling the truth? He could have been lying about his family. I mean, the dude was lying nonstop.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? But I think it had to, because I mean, if he's not the character that he is now, Harper would have got out the first time. So I mean, you can't change him, and you got to figure out a reason how to change him, because he's the only one that could get him out of there. If you think about it, fly him to a spot where like the whatever agency those people are from can rescue him. But I think they had to do that.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, they would have had to crawl back through the Upside Down and hopefully come out in Hawkins. But that doorway was closed, so it's like, what were they going to do? We got to get him back on our side. Triple agent, double agent. Slap it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
So it looks like Amanda is watching us live. For all of those of you who are watching us live, thank you very much for joining us for the live broadcast, Nerd World Order broadcast. Amanda's just skipping straight to the end. She loved the end, but she cried so much. Yeah. Tears of joy, no doubt. Tears of joy.
Yeah.
Russia, the overall Russian side quest, I personally really liked because I felt like there was just so much action.
Right.
Like when when Hopper was being chased, I was like, wow. It's one of those things where how like sometimes you watch something, it's kind of like Suicide Squad, but you actually care about the characters, where it's like anyone could die at any time. And Joe had predicted this is going to be a slaughter fest. So I was like, oh, Hopper's going to die. Oh, this guy's going to die. I was just waiting for someone to die, right? So when Hopper was being chased, I was like, my dude's dead. He's gonna hit the button at the last minute, but my dude's dead. Then when he was fighting the Demigorgon, I was like, I expected him to like swing his sword and like he would kill the Demigorgon, but then like you would see the Demigorgon had like his claws embedded in his chest or something. So I was just waiting for Hopper to die. So that Russian adventure, the quest, was just so exciting to me.
I love the fact that, even though they were nowhere near Hawkins, nowhere near 11 in LA or wherever she was now, they found a way to help. And I really appreciate that they were able to tie that in because it's all the upside down is a hive mind. So you kill a Demogorgon here, that's like, ow, a mosquito bite over here. Next thing you know, you're getting clocked in the jaw, right? So it was just enough of a ripple effect to help the kids do what they needed to get done.
I agree 100%, man. It's like he came in at the perfect time, and I didn't feel like it was lazy writing. In fact, I have to say that I feel like this is one of the most, granted, I don't watch that much television, but this is probably one of the most intelligently planned television shows, season 1 to season 4, that I've seen in a while. Now, maybe there's a chance that, hey, they just they were doing something. They're like, oh, let's throw this in, let's throw that in. But I felt like everything has been building. Whereas like, you can't like, oh, they just pulled this hive mind out of nowhere. Nah, they talked about that a long time ago. So it's like, we have like 20 Demogorgons here. Boom. Let's kill them all. You know, looking at the Russian quest, I have to say that initially didn't think it was going to have that much of an impact because, you know, we had talked about, oh, they're going to go through a portal and they're going to arrive at just the right time to help everyone. But the fact that they kept them in Russia through the entire thing, I just felt like that was a really good way to do it. To Alfonso's point, they still affected them, but it wasn't like they created something that was a little bit too far-fetched, which I mean, the whole concept of the whole show may be a little bit far-fetched.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
What?
Yeah, but still, I really like that they did that.
But to your point, I'm glad they did it that way because I was just thinking, so now they're going to go back to the prison and now they're going to go through a portal and then they're going to be like, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Combusted like a cooler, man. Oh, yeah.
Right. So I expected,
you know, it's weird. The adults, you know, you think that they're going to come and save the day, right? It's like, oh, we're a bunch of kids. We're in over our head. We got a lot done, but you know what? We need the big guy with a big gun. Nope, not this time. They were just a distraction.
I'm okay with the little. I'm okay with like little kids being big heroes like that. I have no problem with that. And they, you know, Stranger Things when they started, they were pretty small kids. That never gets old for me.
No.
Now, Obi-Wan when they're like super small like that kind of like annoys me because just the voice and stuff like that, like it's high pitch. Hey, Obi-Wan, where you going? You know what I mean? So it's like that kind of bugs me and throws me off because I can't stop thinking about that. But when they're at the age of how they were portrayed in Stranger Things, and then they grow up to, I like a series that does that. Yeah, like they took, I think 3 years for the next season 4 to come out, but from little kids as they grow up, kind of like Harry Potter thing. They're little kids, and then they manifest into adults, and you get to see the ramifications of them as small, you know, transition into adult. I'm for that.
Me too. Speaking of transitions, let's throw down some California love, or at least some West Coast love. Let's talk about the West Coast Quest. Let's see here, Alfonso. Why don't you go ahead and start it off? What was your thoughts on the West Coast Quest?
You know, I still had a great time with it. You know, they spent a lot of time on 11. You know, all the LA people were taking their time getting there, but you know, they were slowly but surely making their way. They went and talked to Dustin's girlfriend. She got him the coordinates to where I forget what the machine's name is. And I love when Argyle's like, "How do you know it's a place we're looking for and not a really little woman? Because a little woman would be hard to find in the middle of the desert. She could be standing behind a tree." And, that is cool. Last night I actually just watched that episode again because my daughter Emma hadn't seen it, so we're walking through that. Yeah, so they're having a lot of fun there. You know, they're getting to 11, doing their best to get to her. She's doing her best to get away, and it's pretty impressive how everything just comes to a head at one point. You know, all together. They, you know, you got Daddy. What was that episode? That last episode, second to last episode was called Daddy. Yeah, Papa. Yeah,
Papa.
Daddy something else.
Yeah.
We'll find that in Joe's TikToks. So yeah, Papa, you know, he's like trying to be a jerk and not letting him out. You know, so she's got to find a way. She's got to find a way to get out of there, and you know, she's got her escape plan. Everything's going. Next thing you know, Papa drops her in the neck with some juice and barely got her because she turned around and slammed them against the wall. But right as that happened, you know, that whatever military group just popped in and just started taking everybody down. So it was cool. She popped out of the hatch at the last second, her and Papa, and then all of a sudden the boys pulled up. There was a helicopter. That scene was impressive. You know, they're just taking shots at her, and she just rips that helicopter in half and throws it down and blows up. And then they walk away with the explosion in the background, not looking back. Oh wait, no, that's a different movie. that's a standard trope in action movies. But yeah, and when Mikey and her got to see each other again, it was beautiful, man.
It was good feelings actually, and you know, everyone knows, just like Joe, you put a kid in a movie, I'm like, I don't watch this crap, right? But I really liked the reunion between Mike, you're not Mike and 11. No, it is Mike and 11. Yeah. I definitely like that. I thought it was touching. I thought that it felt real, you know, which I feel like Millie Bobby Brown is definitely a great actress regardless of her ridiculous name. I hope that's what her mama named her. But other than that, I really feel like that scene was touching. Yeah. Excellent point, Alfonso. In fact, Amanda, speaking on behalf of the ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, says, I love when 11 took out the helicopter, even with the collar on. Yeah, that's a good point. She was wrecking stuff, even with a let's say, a restrictive device on. But Alfonso was about to throw down some knowledge. Alfonso.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. No, she wasn't. But no, you're right. She did have the collar on. And at the last moment, Papa clicked the button. It fell off, and then they went. So yeah, I was like, no, he popped it off. I'm like, no, you're right. It was after the helicopter. So you know, it's tough when she gets the one hand up, and then when she gets the two hands up, and the nose starts to bleed, and she screams, it's on.
Yeah,
she's got to learn how to use her power though, without like passing out. You know, she needs, I don't know, maybe Professor Xavier to come in there and show her how it's done.
Because that's our obligatory X-Men reference of the podcast.
Well,
do people have to take a shot? Like when I say lazy writing and people take a shot, every time Alfonso makes some, like, finds a way to work X-Men into the podcast, are people taking shots? Because if so, there's some people with like wrecked livers right now.
No, they don't have to take a shot. When I make an X-Men reference, they get to take a shot.
Oh, nice. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, I thought, the beginning of the West Coast South, they share more stuff between her and Papa, how what was his whole thing with the kids and stuff like that. And he does acknowledge that it was number one that did all the killing and not her. But I want to say, like, the neck restraint, isn't the same thing as him having the chip in his, was it his neck, or she took out the chip to inhibit the powers? Mm-hmm. Yep. So if in fact that she's able to bring down a helicopter without passing out, and with the collar on, dude, she's already should be stronger than Vecna if you think about it. You know what I mean? And two, like, to your point, Alan, Mike was a lot better on these last two episodes than he was in the beginning, because he was just, he explained why he was acting the way he was, which was annoying the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. But do you remember that the van ride when they were talking and Will was telling him about, he was basically, I want to say he was telling him his feelings. Yeah. So like he was telling him how he felt, how Millie truly felt and how he was. And he was like, oh, you're the heart of the guy, of the crew. She needs you, this and that. I almost want to say that was him confessing his love for him. Yeah. And if you notice, his brother was looking in the mirror, he caught that. So I was like this, aha, Captain America, aha. So me and his brother caught that. And that's why he did that little, when they were in there making, what was it, salt or something like that, whatever they're making, they were like, hey, if you need to talk to me about anything, I'm here. Yeah. And that's what I noticed. That's what I took away, because he just turned around the corner and started crying. So obviously he's not crying, because he's helping Mike out with Millie. He's crying because he kind of confesses. I think he confessed his feelings without Mike knowing that he did it, and it kind of gave him some kind of like closure, because now he knows for a fact that he really wants to be with 11, and he has no shot.
Yeah, that was really cool the way they showed that he's still a good big brother.
Yeah.
He caught all that. It's like,
Yeah.
I know you're saying that that's what she wanted, but that's really what you do because that's how you feel. And a lot of big brothers are too big, into their own world that they don't notice their little brothers like that. So, and you kind of feel that, with him out being in the van with Argyle doing the Scooby-Doo stuff, that he wasn't paying attention to his brother. So it was really good to see that he still had that love for him like that.
Yeah. And bro, he was falling asleep, if you remember.
Yeah.
Like he was falling asleep, and then when he started talking, bro, he was just like this. He was like, going like this, and then when he started talking, he was like this. Aha!
Yeah. So 11. Here's what Amanda has to say, and I'm going to say I agree, but I don't agree. So Amanda says 11 proved that she was stronger than Vecna when she sent him into the Upside Down in the first place. She was stronger than number 1. However, as we discovered in the final episode, number 1, IMO, bonded with the Mind Flayer, giving him additional strength and giving him control over the Upside Down. So you are correct. Initially, Amanda, she definitely did show that she was stronger than number 1. However, number 1 gained more power, strength, and abilities when he went into the Upside Down. And at first he was just like, let's say, equal to her, maybe a little bit below her. But then he just leveled up. It's like in D&D, when you get that armor, it's like he got that armor from the Mind Flayer. So he did indeed level up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's an excellent point, Amanda. I think that, you're right on. And then I feel like Vecna, just to his own point, he said something like, then I saw something and I realized the purpose I had, or something like that. I don't know. I didn't write it down. He was spitting bars. I don't know what he said.
Like Amanda says she's still strong. She's still stronger. I don't think so. I don't think she's still stronger. Let me explain. Will was saying that Mike has the big heart of the group and can make 11 do things to make her stronger, right?
Combo.
And you see how much she loves her pop. So I think in season 5, one of those two are going to die just to put her over the edge and be so powerful where she takes out Vecna.
See, this is my theory when it comes to 11. I think 11 is stronger. I think she's more powerful. I think she's got the natural given talent. But Vecna, number 1, he's more trained. He's more experienced. I mean, as you can see, time doesn't fluctuate the same way in the Upside Down. So he's been able to work with that and manipulate it. And he knows how to work it inside and out. She's stronger, but he's skilled. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's going to beat that? She needs something to push her over the edge. Because if you notice, every time she gets strong, there's a reason for her to get strong. And they already used, I love you, 11. So that's definitely not going to work again. So someone, I think, is going to have to die for her to get over the edge.
Well, to look at this from a real world standpoint, Mikey still has Ghostbusters. So I think you're right. Other kids got nothing else. So it's like you kill off Mikey, no big deal. He still gets a paycheck over here, right? But more importantly, yes, that's the thing that puts her over the edge. And just she like puts both hands up, she puts both feet up, both nostrils bleed, it comes out of her eyes, and just destroys it.
But then again, that would be like season 5. I think that's the last season, so it doesn't matter when he dies.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be in the beginning. I think it'll be close to the end. But I also was reading an interview that Millie was saying that the Duffners, is it Duffer or Duffners? Duffer brothers are wussies as far as killing off characters, because she seems to think it should be like Game of Thrones, where it's too many main characters and you should kill them off. Where I disagree with, there are characters, but they do very well at developing all those characters that they add in. That's why everybody likes Eddie Munson. because of the, he has a new character, but they developed him so well. And me and Alan was going to talk about this, but I don't know if this is a perfect transition to the Upside Down.
All I'll say is I still hate Argyle. Before we move on, I still hate Argyle. He's still annoying.
Yeah.
He came through in the clutch, so
Yeah.
I got to respect my boy. He gave up his precious purple nurple or whatever it was for the team. He came through in the clutch, but I still hate me some Argyle.
But didn't they have like another one? Like, I'm like, wow, I guess you're going to be stereotypical, and every surf pizza place just has a guy that talks like you and looks like you.
Were they? I'm like, were they even in California still? I
No.
guess they were, right?
No, they weren't.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was, they got to have a little comedy in there, So, yeah. I mean, you're right, Joe. But I think they just did that for comedic value.
Yeah, just do better.
Argyle's the wheel man.
Do
Argyle's
better.
the wheel man. Hey, he came through.
Hey, I wouldn't mind if he died.
That's facts right there.
What up,
Yeah,
smoke?
I wouldn't mind, bro. Like, he can go out and like smoke weed and then just die.
And that, kids, is the moral of the story today.
Yes. So Joe is ready to get into the Upside Down. Take it away, Joe.
Yes, sir. So we called the Eddie dying, and me and Alan had an interesting observation that they definitely created Eddie to take the fall instead of Steve, because both of them were so close to Dustin. The problem is you kind of teeter-tottered, like Eddie was kind of being better than Steve in this, in this season. However, it puts you in a dilemma. Which one would you rather die? And I want to ask you this question. Which one would you rather have had died, Eddie or Steven?
Alfonso, I'll let you take it first.
Man, sadly, Eddie. I mean, it's my boy. He went out there and he blasted out some sweet music. But Steve Henderson, he's the man when it comes to this show. He is the knight in shining armor. He is the Lancelot that's gonna come and he's gonna handle business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So Eddie Munson, while he was great, and I get they could definitely do big things with him. There's a lot of speculation on the internet. They still just might.
So this is the first time I have to say this because I actually thought it with Papa also. No body, no death.
Amen.
I was like, it's like, okay, Papa died, but it seemed like he was still like 11, like as they drove away. So maybe Papa's still alive, right? You never showed. Did they?
I read somewhere where they said he's dead.
Yeah.
Like they said he's dead. He's not coming back.
Dude, no body, no death. Okay. We're comic book nerds. No body, no death. That's all I'm saying.
Well, dude, you saw Dustin holding him, bro. That dude freaking, unless you're going to say, oh, he passed out because he was like his body lost too much blood. That's just lazy writing. That's lazy writing. It
might be lazy writing, or it could be great writing.
No.
Where did they bury him?
They did it. They didn't bring it.
Right? If they buried him in the Upside Down, what's the effect of someone dying and being buried in the Upside Down? If Vecna's still alive, would he have control over that person? I don't know. But that person was killed by an extension of Vecna, being those little, I don't think the bats, they didn't give the bats a name, so we'll call them Upside Down bats. That's official. Copyright, y'all. So yeah, he got killed by those Upside Down bats. So like maybe he's gonna, I thought that with him, and also the jock kid that got separated by or killed by when the Upside Down came into Hawkins, and he right there on that I can't remember the name of the thing.
Well hell, bring back Billy too. Bring back Billy. Hey, bring back Becca. I think that's her name. Bring back everybody that he's killed, bro. They're not going to do that, bro.
Nah, because we don't like those people. We don't like those people. Was it Becca? No, I don't know. But anyway,
Barbara.
Barbara. There we go.
Barbara. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Barb.
We didn't care about Barbara, right? I don't even know
What?
who Billy is. But
Billy's the brother of
Billy's the brother.
nobody liked that dude. Everybody hated Billy.
the
Yeah.
moms of Hawkins liked him.
Bro, even Max was like, I wish he'd just crash. I think it would lose its momentum if they do that. Like as far as like it'll cheapen it. Like I keep telling you all the time, I would love to have Iron Man back. And what does Duke say? You just cheapen the whole story. And I think he would do that with Eddie because Eddie always ran away from things. And this is a redemption. He became a hero. He didn't run this time. And then of course Dustin and his uncle, he's telling him like, hey, he's like, my nephew's innocent. He's like, yeah, your nephew's innocent. He actually saved a lot of people. And so like it's a better arc story that's ended with him. And it's a good substitution for Steven. What I didn't care too much for was Steven and Nancy doing this what if thing kind of thing. And that kind of got on my nerves because I'm like, dude, we don't need a love triangle. I think it's just fine the way it is. You know, now it's just awkward, you know, like when her man comes back and he's like, hey, are we good? And, you know, it's just, we don't really need that. It's season 4. It's almost season 5. I think it's just a waste of time for me. I think they could have did better with that. Do better, in my opinion.
This is my thought. Eddie Munson's dead body's laying there, or his dying body's laying there. And one of those little vines just like goes around his ankle, up his leg, and then he's back. Guess who's back?
Oh, yeah. You know what, dude? Now that I think about it, you know, Alan is right. They could do the same thing because that's what they did to Billy.
Yeah.
So they could, you know what, dude? That's a good thought, Alan. Because check this. What if Vecna does bring back Eddie like they did Billy and use Eddie to distract Dustin?
Right.
Because he can see everything. He's so like arrogant. He's like, hey, Max, let me show you the future. This is what's going to happen. I see everything. I hear everything. I know everything. And that would be a good kind of like ploy, you know, for Vecna to try to have an upper hand, to have Dustin, you know, like be perplexed because he was so close to Eddie.
Yeah, Dustin's been the brains, man. So that makes total sense.
It does make a lot of sense. So I will say this. Eddie had the best one season arc. Like,
Yep.
I feel like Eddie had a better arc than Steve.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because it's like you meet him, he's, I'll just say a coward, but, you know, he was okay. Then, but you also see how much he loves Dustin and he loves the rest of the Hellfire Club, right?
Yeah.
So at the end, he's willing to sacrifice himself and not run in order to save the people that he loves. That's awesome. But then my boy went out the most G of G ways in the history. I'm talking about when it was black and white. I'm talking about when it's 3D smell-o-vision in the history of television with that guitar solo.
Yeah.
Like that guitar. First of all, Master of Puppets, not the best Metallica song, but it's probably one of the more popular. Dude, he went out so badass, man. I love that. So
it was pretty dope.
Yeah, like I feel like if he stayed dead, Joe, excellent point, because he had such a well-written character arc. It's one of those things where you're like, we don't want to mess with it because it was so well done.
Yeah, because you were talking too, like if they kill Steven, people are probably going to get pissed because after season 3, everyone loves Steven. But I think to your point, this season you forgot about Steven. You're just like, damn, this Eddie dude's pretty dope, dude. Pretty dope.
Yeah.
Hey,
definitely.
you know, I do want to point out another thing. I mean, and I made this TikTok about it, but Master Puppets dropped March 3rd, 1986. This all started March 22nd, 1986, which was Will's birthday. So what, he had how many days to learn this song and perfect the song on the guitar? Eddie Munson was a rock god, man.
I think he had a band too, though.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you know, it's not like I don't think he had access to sheet music. He had to listen to it. He had to figure it out. He had to learn it on his own with his band. You know, they all probably figured it out. But I mean, that's
Bro.
what, 18 days?
Bro, I remember a homie had a guitar, bro, and he taught me how to play doom 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 doom. Womp, 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 womp. Bro, I don't even know how to play guitar, bro, and he taught me how to do it. So I don't think it's that hard. If your boy can do the beginning of that, dude,
He did the whole
I'm not-
song. And this song it's a complicated one, man. I don't know. I got to give him his props.
Oh yeah, bro, no doubt.
So let it be known that Joe didn't give Eddie Munson his props.
Oh, that's not even true, bro. I'm just saying.
He died for you.
I mean, dude's in a band, bro. So you know, like if that's one of the your favorite bands, you're gonna know how to play you're gonna know how to play that riff. I thought it was pretty cool. Like I don't care too much for Metallica because they took down Napster, but the drummer, I don't even remember that guy's name. Is a punk.
Lars Ulrich.
Yeah, there we go. Which you make all your money not from album sales but tours, you punk. Anyways, they did like a duet on TikTok. They were like,
yeah.
I didn't even watch it all because I'm like, screw you guys. I'm scrolling up.
But did you?
I watched it. It wasn't all fun.
No, was it? They're just like this. Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's funny about that, if you think about it, I read an article that Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush and Master of Puppets by Metallica had like these huge spikes in streaming because of
sure.
Stranger Things, right?
For sure.
So Metallica, when years ago they were against the streaming and downloading of music,
No doubt.
right?
And look what happened now.
Yeah. And then they embrace it.
Yeah. Punks. That's why I call them punks.
Hold on. Joe's still mad about Napster.
Bro, you know Napster was dope, bro. You know what Napster didn't give you?
What's
Freaking
that?
viruses.
That's true.
I'll tell you that. Because once Metallica took that out, you had LimeWire and everyone was getting
LimeWire.
viruses.
Yep.
Yeah, we have to blame Metallica for the fact that none of us had working computers in the late 90s. Like nobody, because we all downloaded viruses on LimeWire. That's your fault, Metallica.
And that was the Russians.
It was, bro. What's dope is like the soundtrack for Stranger Things. People keep saying like Stranger Things, the soundtrack has been really good, and I'm sure I don't know the name of the song. I don't know the words.
Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush.
Okay, that's what it. And so like that's what they say for real. Okay, well, anyways, the streaming on that has gone up, and everyone's like, oh, the music in there. Same thing with Thor, but what they're actually doing is what we grew up on. If you watch Top Gun, All the Right Moves, you got No Retreat, No Surrender, like Karate Kid, all these old school movies had good soundtracks to them. And so like you really got emotional with the scenes when the music hit. And you're like, oh, and that's one thing that James Gunn brought back, the Duffer Brothers brought back. And then Tahiki Wakiki brought in Thor, the music. Yeah. And it was funny because like when we got out of the theater for Thor, guess what my son was playing? Sweet Child of Mine. You know what I mean? And I was explaining to him, I'm like, yeah, bro, like Alan used to kill that song when he sang. I would sound good with him because when you can harmonize with other people singing, you actually sound legit. So I was that kind of good guy where I can just throw in my 2 cents and not sound bad and think I was a part of the solo that Alan would do. And I would tell my son, like, I was telling him, like, like this, where do we go? Where do we go now? And there's like a little before Axl says that, it's the beach is like, the beach is playing. And Alan would say, where do we go now? Where do we go now? And he would keep saying it and then be perfect for when Axl comes back and be like, where do we go? It was just perfect, dude. And my son was like, damn, really? I go, bro, you have no idea. My man got vocals.
Yeah, I agree with Duke. So, I mean, James Gunn with Guardians of the Galaxy, that really just changed the way everybody's looking at their music again. Actually, I'd probably look back to Quentin Tarantino, who's kind of started that. But yeah, definitely, James Gunn and then like you said, the Duffer Brothers followed suit. Taika Waititi followed suit. You know, anybody who's doing this is just revitalizing older music, great music, back when music was good, kids.
Yeah.
Putting it back at the top of the charts.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about those songs. Those songs are like 20 plus years
Even
ago.
Journey. There was a
And-
Journey song.
Yeah. And it still sounds good.
Mhm.
You know, with whatever, you know, with whatever particular movie they put it in, or, you know, TV series.
Yeah, man. Music has become such a great part of, you know, television shows and you know, and obviously movies. It's, I feel like at one point I didn't pay attention to the music, but to, you know, one of our anonymous friends on Facebook pointed out Guardians of the Galaxy changed that. You know, when I talk about, you know, the 4 elements of a good nerd movie, special effects, IMO is music. You have to include the music in the
Yep.
effects, because it's like the music just, it almost becomes a character. You know, if you
Mhm.
take away the music from Guardians of the Galaxy, it almost like loses its heart. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
excellent point. You know what we haven't talked about yet? The final battle between 11 and Senor Uno, also known as Vecna. Joe, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I thought it was cool how like the final battle for the very last kill, it had everybody in different areas of, you know, like the story doing their part to help finish, you know, or I guess smack Vecna in the face, you know, because I don't think it's the real final battle, But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Max got jacked up. But you know, here's the thing, dude. So watching the dude is like, I'm like, did Eddie really have to die though? I'm gonna go back to Eddie. Yeah, he played the music, but if he didn't do anything to the bats other than distract the bats. But the bats weren't gonna go with Vecna. Vecna's already in there with the people that he's with there with Max and then 11. The bats ain't gonna come in there and try to take Vecna's kill.
No, but it's the other group,
So-
Nancy and Steve, who are trying to get in there. They had to distract the bats so that they can get into the house.
Yeah, but the bats come when they hear things.
Yeah.
Thus the music. If they're already in the house, they're not gonna hear them in the basement.
It was he did that to save Dustin. That's what that was all about, bro. Because they were coming. Remember, they came up through the vents and they came in through the vent on the top. They were going into that trailer, and if he didn't leave, because remember he made all that noise, Dustin was in jeopardy. So he basically went away from there so that Dustin could be saved. That's why, remember when Dustin climbed the rope first,
Mhm.
and then he cut the rope to save Dustin so Dustin couldn't get back in? That's why he did that.
But dude, the bats are gonna go inside that little hole into the real world. They would have did it already.
Yeah, I
And
think that's
Dustin-
why he did it.
Dustin's already saved, bro. He could have climbed up in there and they both would have been chilling. But you gotta kill Eddie to save Steve.
Got to kill Eddie to save Steve, and also you have to give him his heroic
Oh yeah.
arch, because excuse me, good God, I said that phonetically. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, because there was that point where they're like, we're not heroes. He had to say that in order to have that arc where he's like, hey,
Oh, yeah. I get it.
you know,
I get
yeah,
it.
yeah. So
But he still didn't have to die, but I get it.
dang, Joe's just bitter about that and Napster.
Oh man, dude. Max got jacked up. Let's talk about that, bro. Because like when she got snap, crackle, and pop, and I was like, if she lives, is all that stuff gonna be broke in her eyes? She can't see. I was like, what the heck's going on, dude? How'd you feel about that? Like when I knew she got sacrificed like that, kind of like, I don't know. You kind of almost don't feel sorry for her when she goes, I wish she would die. I was thinking about it the whole time.
I thought that was some of the best writing I've seen in years,
Hmm.
because the natural thing to do in most movies would just be like, oh, Vecna's dead or Vecna gets hurt, and like her limbs just pop back, and like she's fine. And that's what I was expecting, because when I saw her getting mangled like that, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, they're going there? Wait, what?
Hmm.
So I thought that them doing that was a really bold move. And obviously they've got the next season, and they also talked about there's a potential spinoff show. And Joe, you're going to love that the Duffer Brothers are making a live action Death Note show.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Are they making it on Netflix too, or?
Yeah, look, bro. I don't read that much. I get distracted after like 3 paragraphs.
Hey, bro, they do be doing like fucking, or he do be doing like freaking 5 paragraphs, bro. I'll be trying to read fast, because you remember like in high school, you would have to take certain classes. I remember one of them was like speed class, so they taught you how to speed read.
Yeah.
And so every now and then I'll break that out. I'm just like, and I'll stop on something that I'm like, ooh, this is interesting, and I'll read it very slowly so I can absorb everything. But yeah, I get what you're talking about, dude.
Yeah, definitely. So I was like, oh, Joe's gonna like this, because I was telling someone. Actually, it was the homies over on the Cult Popcast.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Steven that imagine if the Duffer Brothers would have directed Doctor Strange.
Ooh,
Right?
that would have been good.
That would have been good, because they did this so well. So I
Yeah.
think that I've never watched Death Note, but I'm excited. I'm excited to watch it, because based on what I've heard, and I know Joe likes it. Joe told me all about it. I think that they're going to kill it.
Oh yeah, it'd be really good. I mean, because they're good writers.
Yeah.
Right.
Because even when it starts off slow, there's a payback for that.
Mm-hmm.
So they reward you for going through the slow parts, as when most movies don't do that, or TV sitcoms. It's slow, like Halo. Like it's slow, but it never comes to where it's like there's a big payoff for it. Where Stranger Things, they do that every time.
Yeah. I complained about 4.7, and they said, hush your mouth, Alan Dukes, because 8 and 9 were just some fire, just some hot fire, dude.
Well,
but
4.7 did it nice too, though.
Yeah, definitely. That got me excited. Getting back on to talking about that final battle, Max going out the way that she did, I felt like the Lucas fight, it's like everyone had their fight and everyone had to elevate.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he's a freshman, he's fighting a senior.
Mhm.
I was just like, come on, Lucas. And Lucas got beat down, and every fight, like even his little sister, with her well targeted kick,
Mhm.
dude, everyone elevated their game at the end of the fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was watching Master Ken on YouTube. Stop the groin. And of course, stop the groin. Yeah. Dude, Lucas whooped him down, man. It was such a great fight. I mean, it was so awesome because there was redemption, right?
Mhm.
It came on. But the whole Max thing, I believe me, I love Max. Didn't want her to die at all. And she died. She did die.
Yeah.
But bringing her back like that was a little bit of cop out, was it? I don't know, man. It was just like, come on, you guys, you gotta stick to your guns. Because now,
laser writing.
right now, she's all blind and twisted up.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna be right.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, Joe pointed out something that we're not considering. Who did Vecna use? Her brother, right?
Yeah.
Her brother died. So she died. So is she now susceptible to Vecna's control because she died in the Upside Down? I feel like that's going to be a plot point in season 5.
Could be. Instead of Eddie, it could be her.
Yeah.
Or I would love
maybe,
to have Eddie. I would love to have
or
Eddie.
both.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah.
I know we do all this fanfic writing and then we get upset.
Yeah.
But realistically, imagine if everyone had someone that's in the Upside Down or controlled by the Upside Down
Yeah.
that could affect them in season 5.
Yeah,
But
I
here's
mean,
the thing,
wait.
though. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Well, you got Max. If
Mhm.
Vecna's got Max in the real world and Eddie in the Upside Down, he's covering all his bases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how many times are you gonna like, hey, let's separate again? Let's separate again. One goes here, one goes there. I would like to think that the battle is going to be all of them together in one stop. You know what I mean? Together. Like, hey, let's do the same thing we did last season 4. Okay, some go over here to Upside Down, and then we'll stay here. I don't know. They might do it again, but I think it'd be different.
Yeah,
you're
right.
I want to see the same thing again.
Yeah, that's been their formula all along. It's like divide and conquer. But you
Mhm.
know what? This is, the ultimate into the series. It's like everybody's on their side quest and they all come together at the end to
Yeah.
do what they got to do. So, yeah, Joe, that makes a lot of sense.
Which they were saying too, like if you look at Mikey's painting,
Uh-huh.
because I saw that, I can't remember where I saw this. It might have been TikTok. The dragon, when they first started playing D&D and Mike lost against that dragon, I don't know if you remember that in season 1. It's the same dragon that Will painted on his portrait. And it has him fighting again. Which, like there was a fan theory too where they said this whole thing is just a D&D game. That would be so sick if at the end of it, they end it and they're just playing D&D. That would be so sick if they ended it that way.
Yeah.
I doubt that they will, but it'd be dope.
The only reason well, not the only reason, but mainly because I don't want to be like, oh, that's how you're going to do me, Duffer Brothers. But since they're going to have a spinoff, which I don't know if I want a spinoff, because I feel like when you have a spinoff, it's like there's unfinished business. I didn't watch Cheers. I don't want to watch Frasier. So
Yeah.
I really feel like a spinoff. That's right. I didn't watch either one. So I feel like it's going to be unfinished business, and then you're not going to feel like you're getting the closure that you need in season 5.
Right. And then the other series, who's it going to be about? Is he going to have to be 11? And then if they kill Vecna, who are they going to fight? Well, I don't know. Duffer Brothers, they're good at writing. I'm sure they have some clever way to make us sit there and think that they can't do anything better, and you never know.
Well, yeah, I mean, like there's plotting and planning from the beginning. I mean, people have gone back and watched the first few seasons. When things go down, you still hear that bong,
Yeah.
bong, the grandfather clock, and you don't know it's a grandfather clock until they show it's a grandfather clock, and it's like, oh. But yeah, before we get too far, I really want to get back into before the final battle. You got a couple, 19-year-olds and a 12-year-old in an ammunition gun store buying all this stuff, and it's cool? Is that what the 80s were like?
But you got to remember, they're living in like the South, so everything's different. Well, let me tell you something, bro.
Dude, that
So,
parking lot was packed.
my sister used to live in Mississippi, and I remember I was walking with my nephew, and we were cutting across a little shortcut, and I remember this little, maybe 12-year-old kid was like, "Hey, boy, you better get off my land, or I'm gonna shoot you." And you look, and you're like, "Whoa, it's a little kid with a 12 gauge." It's like, "Hey, we're leaving right now. Y'all better leave now. You hear? I'll shoot you." And I told my nephew, "We got to get the hell out of here, bro. We ain't strapped for this. We gotta go. We gotta go." But yeah, it's in the South, Alfie. So I mean, this was like probably like late 90s, I want to say.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they're living like deep buku in the South, I'm sure like little kids, like around their ages were shooting guns already, man.
Yeah. Me being, growing up in the ghetto of San Bernardino, me and some friends would sometimes cut some yards to get, to the back alley quickly. And we got chased. And this guy, a friend of mine, got shot in the back with a shotgun full of salt rock. So his back was all blistered up. He was fine, but we didn't do that anymore.
Bro, that was straight out of Boys in the Hood.
Right? Right?
Alfie!
No. No, I'm okay, let's go.
Wow. I agree with Joe. It was the South part of. I've never been to the South. I don't know. Look at me just making up stuff like I was been there. But I want to say that there's more of a culture
Mhm.
where
That's
younger
cool.
kids grow up around guns. So
Right.
it's just
Well,
it's okay.
it's just like like you've got those football towns in Texas, right? This is one of those basketball towns where the basketball captain could stand up in the middle of a courtroom and get everybody to go along with him because he can make a speech, that usually gets everybody to win the game, right? So, they're with him. Indiana, it's in Indiana, right? And the Hoosiers were in Indiana. That was a big time thing. So, these high school people, they carry a lot of weight with their words because they're the star in that town, right? So yeah, I guess you go in. He's like, yeah, let me see that 357,
Mhm.
and then he's like, Nancy, don't take the shotgun. You just grab a hold of that. And so what she does, she's cutting that shotgun off in half. I was like,
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah, and Amanda points out that her cousin in Arizona did the same thing, and shout out to our boy Wes, a longtime member of the Nerd World Order broadcast. He taught his daughter. She's probably younger than 10.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
taught her to shoot.
Way
Posted
younger.
pictures of it.
Yeah.
I don't mess with her.
I remember
bro.
that. I remember
Yeah,
that.
because
I want to say she was like, what, 8? I want to say,
Yeah,
or
8.
younger, it looked like.
Yeah, so I mean, if
Yeah.
Wes did it, and he's living out in KC, so we're just
Mhm.
some California. We're just soft in California.
But just real quick before anybody turns tail on us and gets all guns. So I was talking to my cousin who's an avid gun collector, right? And he takes kids hunting. I believe in you can hunt if you're going to eat it. But it's like, I go, I'm thinking about maybe, I want to teach my son how to care for guns. But of course, mine never taught me, so I need to learn. And he goes, that's such a great idea. You should always teach a child gun safety. And even if they're not going to shoot, they should know gun safety. Because what happens if they're in a group of friends and they're all at the house, nobody's home, and the one kid goes up in this closet and say, hey, look at my daddy's gun. That's where the kid who knows gun safety is going to take it away from them, smack their hand, make sure it's not loaded, put it back in the box, put it away, and tell them that's stupid. We don't do that, right? There's so many times things happen where they just don't know. So I maybe I should have talked about that, but it's too political. But that was the experience. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense to me because, regardless of where they're going to be with guns or not, gun safety is important.
Absolutely. I agree. I can't argue with that. So let's jump on that final battle, get back to 11 and Vecna. I felt like her miraculous recovery, it was a very D&D moment. I see Mike as the cleric, right? In the D&D, because you're the heart, right? He's able to give people extra power, to help them heal when they need to in battle. So I felt like that scene with like him willing her back to regain her strength was very D&D, and I feel like the Duffer Brothers maintain or they stick to respecting their source material. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. That's why he'll die.
Joe's calling it. He's like Babe Ruth pointing to the third outfield.
Hey, him or Harper, I'm just like this. You pointed up like Babe Ruth. It's one of those two. Because she's going to have some drastic thing. I don't think Max is going to do it. I don't think anybody other than Mike or Harper can make her, unless she miraculously just gets super strong. You know what I mean? And just know she's the one like Neo.
I saw another thing online where you have Will drawing, like when he was younger, he was drawing the Mind Flayer, right? Vecna was drawing some spider, Philip or whatever. He was drawing spiders and Vecna when he was young. What if Will's got some power too, and he just he's never been pushed in that direction because nobody knew. But I mean, if he's sensitive to all this stuff, if he's force sensitive, his metachlorian count has got to be high. I'm just saying.
Well, if he does have powers and he'll push him over, you know who's going to do it? Mike.
Oh, yeah, Levin's going to fall, Mike's going to fall, and then Will's going to be like, boom.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Mike. Mike has always been kind of the background character. I was talking to someone and saying like, have they always given you clues that Mike is gay?
Will.
I'm sorry, Will. I apologize. Will's an interesting character. When I edit that out, it's going to sound awesome. Anyway,
we'll fix it in post.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. Was Will gay? remember in season 3 when everybody else started to like girls and he was all about, oh, we should still be playing games. We should continue to play games. You're focused on the games, right? Like, oh,
Right.
it's the games. But it's like he can't feel or transition into that because the person that he's interested in is interested in a girl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can
well, you
relate.
remember-
He doesn't know what to do.
Well,
I
to
thought
your
that was
point,
interesting.
you remember he was in class and the girl was playing footsies with him and he moved his leg.
Yeah.
So that
see?
could have been a hint too, like, oh no, I like Mike.
which that's it gets back to how good the Duffer Brothers are, because when you go back and you watch previous seasons, you're like, oh, this isn't coming from out of nowhere. And that's how they do with everything. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
It's really
like
really
that.
good.
And they were in season
Yeah.
1 planting seeds left and right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they thought to themselves, like, yeah, this is going to be so good that it's going to last 5 seasons,
Mhm.
you know, or if they were just like, let's just, roll the dice, D&D pun, and see how it goes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they rolled natural 20s, D&D reference, and it worked out well.
So, are we looking forward to season 5? Any predictions?
Season 5 predictions. Ooh,
It's going to take place around graduation.
Okay, graduation.
Mhm.
That's a good one. Normally shows in with graduation, so that's
Right.
I'm not going to say that, Alfonso, because Hawkins is on fire.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, they-
Heaven and earth.
4 corners is on fire, like a plus sign.
Yeah, so that's not going to happen. You know what? I wish I had predictions other than, let's see here. Eddie's coming back. The Jock's coming back.
Well, half
let's
of
see
them
here.
is.
Who else? Nobody, no death. Papa's coming back. Okay. Nobody, no death. I'm counting those 3 all coming back.
Hmm. What do you think? Alfie?
Yeah, the Jock's going to come back like Darth Maul with spider legs. But yeah, I can definitely see Eddie Munson coming back. It's like, I can't foresee them dragging his body from the upside down back to reality, back to life, back. Sorry.
to
But,
reality.
but I couldn't see him doing that. He's got to be there, and basically he's like planted like a seed, and he's in there growing, right? Max, I could see Max being more of a background character because she's not going to be able to be up there with them, unless she is taken over from within, and that could be a possibility too. I like those 2. Papa, I think he's toast. The Jock, he's in a place he needs to be. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
So Amanda's prediction is Steve or Jonathan is going to die.
I disagree with that. Because if they're going to kill off Steve, they should have did it with this season. There's no point for Eddie.
Yeah.
2, no one cares about Jonathan. No one cares about
Nobody
Jonathan.
cares about
Nobody.
That's
So if
it.
Jonathan dies, bro, you're like, oh, okay. He this whole season, all he did was get high, bro. And then, he saw his brother confess his feelings to Mike and then change the way he felt. But he's still lying to Nancy. Hey, did you get there? Oh, no, I didn't. Dude, you're almost dang near got helicopters and everyone trying to shoot at you. You're dealing with Vecna and you still got to lie. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Amanda. Nancy she's not going to end up with both. She's going to end up with one. But who cares? No one cares. I think this is why I think no one cares. This is why I don't care. Come on, Steve. You're better than that. Never go backwards. Always move forward. She left you. You got better for it. No need to go backwards. Move forward. Jonathan, get the confidence to know that she picked you, bro. Step your game up, dude. Go to college. You're not bringing anybody down. Do what you got to do. Both of you, be better. I'm out.
Or Steve doesn't live. Nancy dies.
Nah, no one cares.
And no one cares about Nancy either. Like the deaths, except for like Becca or Rebecca, is it or Barbara, or even Billy. I mean, Billy was like an a-hole, and everyone couldn't stand him, so he died. And the emotional feeling that you felt for that, like, yes, that punk died. You know what I mean? And with Eddie, there was emotional behind it, if the sacrifice instead of Steve. If Jonathan dies or Nancy dies, no one really cares. I don't think anybody's talking about Nancy and or Jonathan. It's bad when you got an arc of Eddie in one season and everyone's talking about him. And who else are they talking about besides Eddie? Is Steven. And if you're going to kill off Steven, you should have did it on this episode. There's no point in Eddie.
And with that prediction, Joe drops the mic and we conclude this episode of the Nerd World Order broadcast. So until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, I am NWO.
We are NWO.
Nerds Redefined. Booyah!